So we have our hierarchy, our UV gradient on points, and let's start to build spines per each branch, and then use this spine for simulate the tree. First, let's clean up attribute a little, create an attribute delete, and remove get here and get here. So we have a clean mesh with only our attributes. Next, what I want to do is create a name attribute, because we will loop through all branches, then scatter points per each branch, and it's a lot of calculation, so I want to multi-thread looping, so I will use a compile block and packet primitive, because with packet primitive it's working much faster. Let's create a primitive wrangle and create as at name equal printf. So we will use printf function. Printf function create a string attribute based on the integer, so we will use branch ID like integer. Let's create a name tree and use add branch ID as iterator, and we have a name attribute. Now let's pack our tree and use name here, so we get a 435 packet primitive. And let's create a loop, create a compile block. So I starting from compile because I need a multi-threading, and create for each primitive loop, for each primitive, paste it here, enable multi-threading, and yeah, we will loop through primitive because slot one packet primitive. Now let's unpack it. What's the idea laying in getting these spines inside this branch? So I will scatter a lot of points here, and we have a 0, 1 UV gradient along y-axis. So we take a y-axis and create a stepping using this gradient and loop through this integer value and create a point. So let's create a scatter node. And put here 3000. Looks okay. Let's switch to single. Yeah, looks okay. Merge it with our geometry, and we have a lot of points scattered on our branch. Next, we need to create a stepping value based on this 0, 1 gradient. Let's create steps. How to create steps? We just multiply our 0, 1 gradient for steps number and get this integer stepping attribute across all branch. Let's create a point wrangle and create integer UVW attribute equal integer at uv.y multiply 60. Like example, it will be 60 steps, and you see it's start from 60 till 0. And we create a point loop for each point loop and looping through all points.